All right. So there's a bug in the 4.4.2/3 that is sometimes throwing these warnings, sync type not found for index. It changes, but you'll see something like this, and then things just kind of fall apart. It doesn't always happen. It does sometimes. So it's been kind of difficult to track down, and I put up a bounty to uh, replicate the issue for me so I can solve it. And fortunately, the community came through. So they were able to do so, and now I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it. So let's see what could be going on here. Yeah, I was muted. Sorry. As I said earlier, I just woke up, but I really want to get this solved. So sorry if I'm like still a little groggy. Yeah, I was muted. Um, good catch. So yeah. So to answer your question about, because I did answer it earlier about the self-employed thing, but I was muted. So I was self-employed for like the past 6.5 or so years. Um, before well before Fishnet, but I was working for other people. And I was still self-employed. I was doing my own business and whatnot, but I was working for others on other people's projects, and it was hit or miss. There were some fun ones, and there were some not so fun ones. Mostly fun ones, so totally worth it. And then I'd say a few months after I released Fishnet, I became like fully self-sustaining. Dude, okay. So here's what I mean when the warning doesn't show up sometimes. Wait a minute. There it is. I was like, are you just not going to show up at all? All right. So I'm going to double check everything. 0116 19 21 32 32. Yeah. And I know the RPC links are not applying because there, one, are none, and two, I commented it out. So this makes me think that it's probably not a parsing error at all. They're probably just being it's probably the code that's supposed to be applying them that's being done wrong, which is very possible because I did rewrite that code. So a lot of this is getting refactored. Like that's why we're doing this, is because this is code from like the very beginning of Fishnet. So it's getting refactored very well. It needs it. It needs to be organized. Did I change it? What do you mean? Did I change it? The bug's probably going to be fixed by the end of the stream. If I can't fix it by the end of the stream, I'm going to be very pissed off at myself. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. The hardest part is basically being able to replicate it. Okay. So let's see. Debug.log sig type reader exist for cnob.networkObject.name. Oh, this might well, that's fine. Let me just do this here. Debug.log read behavior ID of behavior ID. Oh, dude. No, if I recall correctly, you were under the I think I added you as a temporary one because I don't think you actually subscribed. And those clear automatically. They're basically given a timeline, like a set date, and they expire automatically. But I can re-add you. Just remind me after this. I'm trying to get the warning to invoke. Why is it suddenly not? Okay. All right. So exist for this. Blah blah blah. It's. I mean, that should be the right behavior. Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, that you're right. I'm sorry. Just remind me after. I'll put you under the permanent one, and then it won't automatically expire. Those only get checked like every month, so it could they happen randomly. Like there's a job that, like a cron job, that runs every so often. Looks like it's reading the right behavior ID. Believe. Let me just check. Type of behavior is. I mean, I'm sure it's probably going to be the right one. All right. Interesting. Oh, on the game object displayer. Okay. Component. Yeah, that looks right. All right, so it's probably this part that's wrong. All right, let's see. Debug.log. Reading sync type ID. Sync type ID. And this is probably where it's gonna immediately put out that what? Oh no, this is probably supposed to be okay. I thought I just found the bug like right away, but all right, so let's see. Written sync types are 2. Reading sync type ID is 0, which is correct. Reading sync type ID 7, which is wrong. It says it's writing 2, but I don't think it's actually writing 2. Because well, they're both set to 0, but this one is increasing the value. I wonder if that's why it wasn't replicating as host only at first, because maybe it wasn't changing the value on it. Like this one's not even used. So they're both defaults, so they should both not be written unless they changed, but this one's being changed. So the fact that it's saying it's writing 2 is kind of making me wonder if that's what's going on, if it's really only supposed to be like 1. Let's see. Trying to find my place. Here we go. All right, let's see where the written actually goes up. All right, position after reserve. Reserve bytes is 2. That might be the issue. I think it's only supposed to be 1. I'm almost positive it's only supposed to be 1. I'm just gonna change it. So let me. Yeah, so it's reading 1 as written, but it's reserving 2. So that's got to be the issue. And I was actually using constants for these for this exact reason, but I must have missed setting this one up during the finalization of all of it. Oh no, it's reserving 2 because it's going to write the component index and the written amount. So that's actually right. I'm sorry. That could actually be right. Let me look into this silently. So it looks like it's writing all the values, even if they're default or not. That shouldn't be happening, but it's still writing them, so it should still parse them. All right, wrote component index 0, written 2. Correct so far. So we're going to do another quick test here. I don't think we need all of these right now. So I'm going to comment them out real quick just in case, but keep that one. Keep that one and go back to client objects, and we're going to comment out all the way up to K. So let's see, comment. Just trying to clean it up a little bit so there's not as many things going on, you know? If you want to follow the version 4, it's not a refactor of FPS Land. It's ultimately rewriting it entirely. But I've been doing streams of it, as you know, so you're welcome to watch those. That's all right. So we're gonna do int start written equals what is it? Writer dot position wrote writer dot position minus start written byte for sync type index sb dot sync index. All right, so wrote 0 bytes for sync index 1. Wrote 5 bytes for sync index 0. I wonder why I'd write 5 bytes. Isn't it a float before? Oh no, because it's got to write the. No, it does. It's got to write the. It's writing the header. Whenever you call write full, it's also writing the index. I think that's normal though. Let's go to the client objects here. Or no, sorry, it's let me just open a new tab here. There you go. So this is going to contain how many are written as well. The component index is 4, and the component index is parsed before this, and the written is parsed inside this bit here, right here. Sorry, it's written right here. And then we got the sync type ID, which is reading as a byte, which is correct. It's going to be writing it as a byte when you write full. And then it's going to be writing a float, which is 4 bytes and 5 bytes. So that's actually correct. I think I do know what's going on, though. I think what's happening is that, all right, see you later. Have fun. I think what's happening is that it's saying it's writing 2, but whenever write full is called, as you saw by the debug, it's not actually writing anything, 0 bytes. That's because the value is default. Remember how I told you shouldn't be writing it if it's default? That's why. So I think what's happening is it's saying 0 because naturally nothing's written, but it's still trying to consume a byte to read the ID, but it's not there. So that 100% looks like a bug and is probably the situation we have going on. Let me go to this. I'm going to change this to a Boolean. And okay, so by default, I want to say this is false, but so this is something that's a little different in Rider than what I'm used to. I want to find the types that are overriding this, which I know there are. Oh, maybe it's not showing because I changed the signature. Yeah, that's what it was. Okay. All right, send all. That's not the one I'm looking for specifically. What I was going to do is I was going to change it, basically say return if full was written or not. Still missing something here though. Let me. Okay, so this is not doing anything if it's the default. So I don't think I'm going to change that behavior at all. I think what I'm going to do is just go back to here, undo what I did, because that's kind of fine. It's just not doing anything if nothing has changed. Maybe I could have done it to return if something was written, but it's not how it is right now. What I'm going to do is do change this here. If writer.position doesn't equal start written, I'm going to rename that. Then we're going to increase the number written. What should we call this? Start. We'll say that. How long did it take me to make fishnet? I mean, I'm still working on fishnet, aren't I? It's, yeah, I don't know. The first release was done after, I want to say like 8 or 9 months. Probably closer to like, I want to say about 8.5 months for the first release. All right, so that seems to be resolved. There was something that was making it more boring every time. That was by including the player object, and that just had that on it. So let's go ahead and, yeah, it's still not happening. That's good. So one thing which is this should be removed, and when I hit play, it's adding it to the prefab. That's not intentional. It's supposed to add it at runtime, but not to the prefab. So this is resolved. The sync type bug is resolved. Excellent. Give me 1 second. I need to update my helpers real quick. Let them know. Okay, great. Sync type issue resolved. I have informed my helpers. All right, so the other thing was the adding of the empty network behavior. That is intentional, but it's not supposed to be adding it to the prefab. It's adding it at runtime, and because it's editor, it's also adding it to the prefab. So I think what I'm going to do, I don't know if that's avoidable. I don't think it is. What I'm going to do is change the code just slightly. First, I'm going to remove my comment hell mess that I made. So let me open that up. Go. And really the only thing, oh, this is a different project. So it's not going to actually be in here. Yeah. Let me export this real quick. Let's see. Sync type bug. Let me close this out. And I'm going to actually open the working project. Or the working project, I mean the actual fishnet one. Okay, it's open. Let me move it over. Let me import the package. Package imported. Okay. So let's see. Scenes, sample scene. That's huge. Okay, let's go ahead and. Right, we're gonna get the warning, of course, because we haven't applied the fix here yet, but I know exactly what the issue is now, of course. Let me go ahead and open it up here. Network behavior dot sync types. Drag this back over. Read sync type. Oh, this is the wrong thing. Read sync type for spawn. No, it's supposed to be under write sync types for spawn. There we go. There we go. All right, so now it should be fixed in the actual project. So let's go ahead and go back to that. Run it a couple times. No warnings. Perfect, as expected. Yeah, it was just that one little thing. Always is. Okay, so let me go ahead and back this up real quick. Why is this? Oh, this just has the returns fixed. Okay. Fixed sync type warning resulting in corrupted packets. There's only going to be one more thing I'm going to add real quick before all of this, and it should be pretty minor. All right, so we have this here where if there's no objects, it's going to try and add it. Let me just see where these are being called. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do if cache count doesn't equal, first I'm going to do if cache dot count equals 1. We're going to see if the first entry in it is, you know what, let's do it a different way. Boolean has empty network behavior. This all runs once, so it's not really a big deal to put this kind of expensive code. This only runs when you first initialize the network manager. So we're going to do for I. Actually, we're going to do for each. And in the collection, I'm going to do, I got to get used to that. How it's starting on the right side. Press tab, network behavior. Rider's a little bit different than Visual Studio in this sense. Whenever you do a for each and you press tab, it starts it on the right, whereas Visual Studio starts it on the left. So that kind of throws me off on occasion. If this does, and it has the empty network behavior equals true, and we're going to break because we don't need to do this anymore. All right, so now we're going to do if cache.count. Let's do this. Okay, so if there is only one network behavior and it is the empty network behavior, then there is no reason to add another. All right, so now we're going to go down here. We're going to do else if hash count greater than, you know what I should do? I need to change this to a for loop. Okay. I'm going to change this up real quick. Empty NB index equals I, break. Okay. All right, so this is basically saying if there is only one network behavior and it is the empty network behavior, then there's no reason to add another. And the reason we add an empty network behavior if there are none is because the system changes and to add support for more things, every network object must have one network behavior on it. It's just going to allow us to do a lot more. It's going to simplify the code significantly. But I don't want to have to force the users into adding it themselves. So this will add it automatically at runtime if it's missing. This also, well, I'm not going to say that yet, not until I'm actually ready to implement it. But I was going to say it also opens up opportunity for a new feature, but not ready to say that yet. So we're going to do, if there is only one and it is already added, then do nothing. If cache count is greater than 1 and empty cache, or I'm sorry, empty NB index doesn't equal -1. Let me do a const here. Const unset empty behavior index equals -1. Should be an int. I was talking about earlier how to use, why we should be using const. Okay. All right. If there is an empty NB behavior and there is another network behavior present, then go ahead and remove the empty network behavior as it's no longer needed. All right, and very last, I don't think we need this. Like I said, this is only done at runtime, so let's just double check the code here. So it's saying if cache count is 1 and that 1 happens to be the empty network behavior, taken care of, exit. Else, if cache count is greater than 1 and the empty network behavior is not set, to remove the empty network behavior because we don't need it anymore. You know what? I gotta actually. This doesn't actually remove the empty network behavior, does it? This just removes it from the cache. What is the remove add component? That's what I thought. It'd be knob.gameObject. I guess you destroy it, huh? Destroy immediate. I'm a little concerned if I do this, it might just destroy it. You know what? There's a better way to do this. Okay, there we go. That's what was missing. All right, so now let's go ahead and check out the rest of this. So this has to be kind of the same here. I need to check this here. feel like this should be before this. I don't know how that wasn't caught sooner. Like, I guess there's just a flow of events that prevented that from being a problem. But let's go here and do. This is going to be relatively less work. Going to do if knob dot network behaviors. Actually, I could just do kind of makes me wonder if I actually need. Well, I guess I would have to remove it from the cache in there. So, so if the count is greater than 0, we're going to try and get the component on it. Or should probably iterate it, I suppose. I think I just chopped off something there. I shouldn't have that. Let me go through the loop here. Except I'm going to go I'm going to cache this real quick. That was different. There we go. Probably make that a list eventually. It doesn't really need to be an array. I kind of went over the top with optimizing. I mean, it doesn't need to be a list, but lists are a lot easier to work with. And all it does is add a tiny smidgen amount of memory to make it a list instead of an array. And internally, they work exactly the same. Like the list just reference an array. This might. What's the reference type? Okay. Comment there. Comment there. And we're going to use basically the same code. Keep it consistent just so it's easy to compare, essentially. This is probably could be put towards the front since the added operations make it a little bit more expensive. Oh, I think it should probably be here because this might need to be done no matter what. All right, let's see what that gets us. So previously what was going on is we had this player object and this was being added automatically, which is supposed to be. Hit play. Oh. Destroying assets is not permitted. It's because it's on a prefab. Okay. Well, that's annoying. I like how it says, if you really want to remove an asset, use destroy immediate. Wasn't I using destroy immediate? Oh, I was using destroy immediate, wasn't I? Stupid Unity. Okay, we're just gonna do that. It's not that big of a deal. People can remove it if they want, I guess, at the end. It's not that big of a deal, though. I'm gonna undo it. All right, so this is concluded. The bug is fixed. I'm going to go ahead and push this release out, get it to the asset store. Send it. What is today? Monday? Monday? Yeah, it's Monday. So I'm going to get it to the asset store, and usually it goes pretty quick. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Any questions before I disconnect here? Any questions? I know there's like a 15-second delay. I'm going to wait just a tiny bit. Going to be cutting off here in 20 seconds. All right, all set. And remember, you can always reach me on Discord if you have a question. Thanks for watching.